Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look at Near Protocol, see what's going on again, and help identify if we're going to hit our third profit target as a community, or if it's going to pull back and essentially discontinue its increase. We'll go ahead and look at that and much more. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, really just love teaching people how to trade, so I hope you can learn something here today. My goal and my passion is just to help you become better traders in general. I truly do love doing this. This is my day job. I do this every day for a living, been trading for over 15 years, and it's very much a realistic thing. You just got to be careful and cautious in this environment. It's a very crazy world, and it's important to have good structure. That's what I teach in my trading community. CryptoCache.tech is the link in the description below if you want to become a better trader. I share signals for every trade that I take, have an academy, and of course, amazing group of community members. Thank you so much to my current community members as well for all of your support over the months here. I deeply appreciate you. Looking here at Near, here's what's going on first and foremost. The price is obviously increasing in a healthy fashion. Now I say healthy because we can look at smaller time frames and you'll see kind of what that looks like. Yes, we see some large candle wicks here in the last 24 to 48 hours, but we have a lot more volume now than we did before. And keep in mind, the volume bar here today hasn't closed yet, and the trading day is only halfway done. So I think we're going to see a lot more volatility from Near in the near future, no pun intended there, and of course have some consistency to the upside. It's definitely looking like it wants to do very well, contrary to what Bitcoin's doing. Right? It's not stuck on stupid like some coins are. It's doing very well. Okay, so we just got to acknowledge that. Taking a look at the moving averages, though, you can see the kind of averaging out together right around $10.91. Excuse me, apologize, my voice is getting better slowly and surely. I appreciate your patience there too. I'll get a little horsey sometimes, so apologize for that. So take a look here. Once again, $10.90 is essentially the time in which, or the cost in which the price is averaging out for the moving averages. Now, we don't need to worry about that too much. It's below, but the good news is its 50-day SMA is going to work its way up here and probably run fairly synonymous with the actual trend line here too. So keep this in mind. Heaven forbid the price were to come back down, retrace, etc. We still got this trend line that's working itself out. That would be an eventuality of the price getting to that price point of just say $20 or its all-time high. So it's really just a matter of time, not necessarily anything, there's a lot of different scenarios, of course, don't get me wrong, but the trend line is essentially telling us that we have consistency in this direction and we're looking very good. We could also redraw a new trend line too and kind of get an idea of what's going on here as well. So we'll take a look at a couple of different things, but generally speaking, there's a few different scenarios we could see happen, and we'll talk about that. So let's look at the obvious first. The price is trending right at 70 on the RSI. It's just peaking above, of course, so until the one-day candlestick closes, we can't confirm that that's a break above, but a break above the RSI at 70 is a very good sign on a one-day time frame because it's commonly a resistance level. You can see here previously when it broke above, it had 3 more green days following that. So again, it may not be that short-lived. A lot of times price, once it goes above 70 on the RSI, can essentially stay in that range for quite some time. So if we were to break above 70, just say for example today, that could imply that the new support level would be about 1595 as a close approximate, and the fact of the matter is that should be the most recent low that we're going to experience and see. Okay. In other words, if the price were to pull back, it shouldn't pull back very much. That's what the RSI does. That's how powerful it is. So it's definitely a good thing to acknowledge, but at this point, excuse me, it's not foolproof because the candlestick hasn't closed yet, right? So that's kind of what we gotta kind of understand there, because the candlestick close on the 24-hour time frame, a one-day candlestick, is much more beneficial or just more telling than it is a smaller time frame. So be cautious in looking at candlesticks on small time frames. They're moving faster, and it's not really the best average to go on. Okay. So that being said, let's look at the 4-hour. We're looking at both moving averages are working their way up. That's fantastic. The 50 is working as a potential support level. So the price were to come down to say essentially, retrace perhaps, we could see the 50 work as a potential support level. Okay. Oftentimes it does. And the cool thing about this, and you can see this in the 4-hour in a lot of cases, is when you have like a continuous trend, like an uptrend, so to speak. Let's go ahead and move this around here. You can kind of see how the 50 works synonymous with the trend lines. And when I drew out this previous trend line, the 50-day SMA was also trending with it. Okay, so that's just kind of something to acknowledge and understand that this is a very good, healthy sign to see the 50 SMA working as a support where the price comes down to bounce off of it. That's reaffirming a trend line which is also something you want to respect and appreciate while the price is moving in the right direction. Obviously, if you break a trend, a different story. You also want to try to test the trend 3 or 4 times, obviously. So in this case, there's only been 2 tests. It's not like a full-on, exact idea of the fact that, hey, we're going this direction forever. But it does help us understand until that's broken or it comes down and tests again, we can expect that to continue to hold. That's generally the concept or the idea. And again, the 50-day SMA is working its way up with that. And same with the 200 too. So we got really good stuff here in that sense. RSI on the 4-hour is calmed down. I like this. I prefer the RSI on the 4-hour to be under 70. I think anything over 70 gives us that retracement. It essentially puts us outside that standard deviation, and it's too uncomfortable. It's too fast of a relative strength index time frame, so to speak, to allow for it to stay above 70 for too long. And if you look, historically, it's rare for the price to come up above 70 on the RSI on the 4-hour. We did have that ramp up there on the 20th of February, but that was when Bitcoin took off initially, and we could see that things kind of went sideways from there. But again, that was just more so just the timing there at the sense. It didn't hold and sustain very well, right? You see how long it sold off after that? That's what happens when you get overextended on the RSI. So the fact that we are not overextended on the RSI on the 4-hour right now is extremely important. I think that helps us out a lot. That allows for us to maintain this continuation. And when I said healthy from before, this healthy continuation, yes, it's a little bit of a peak and valley, but it is correcting itself enough to work within the ranges and to continue to keep itself in that position. So it's a very, very good situation here for near. Normally I'd prefer a little bit more of an up-over pattern, but this is still staircasing nicely based on the fact that it is coming down to retrace and kind of consolidate closer to, just say $16 is a round number, which is one of the key Fibonacci retracement lines here. So again, very good stuff there in that sense. So we're looking pretty darn good in that regard. Let's see, the Ichimoku cloud is probably going to be telling us we're getting close. See, it bounced right here essentially, which isn't a big deal. So we have all green lights here. So in other words, we do not want to close our position, obviously, if you have one open. Conversion line is above the baseline, price is well above the cloud, and of course the lagging span is free and clear. So we got 3 out of 3 check marks essentially telling us, hey, leave our position open, no reason to turn it around. Heaven forbid the price were to just say come down and kind of just take its time, then the lagging span would come in, and it would intersect with the price action. And at that point, you just want to hesitate on opening a new position until we get further confirmation. It's really just telling us that we want to keep things open for the moment. Taking a look at TD sequential, let's just kind of take a quick understanding of what its history looks like. When we see a 9 here, it went sideways, got a nice little reset up to another 9. No surprise the price came back down. Anytime you hit 2 9s in a row, I've noticed, okay, not any time, but most of the time, when you hit 2 9s in a row, you reach this extra exhaustive state. In other words, you should have seen a pullback in the first to get that natural, staircase type of pattern. Instead of coming back down, it went sideways and up, which is all well and good, but then again, it had to kind of retrace. So what it does, it came back down to a 9, got a nice healthy reset, and then back up to a 7. So the great thing about this is the fact that it did have a pretty significant pullback, but it was necessary to kind of offset that second 9. So that being said, with us being at like just say a 2 or a 3 for right now, and then previously seeing a 7, there's a great chance we'll see the price continue to consolidate a little bit longer and then leg up again once we build a little bit more volume. But there has been a lot more volume in the last specific, just say 12 hours versus, the previous, full week's worth of trading. So, we look the whole entire week of trading here, just say, Monday through Friday. Yes, there were some little spots here and there, but we've seen the most amount of volume, coincidentally, on a weekend here for Near Protocol. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that we could very well see that continuation throughout the weekday. If we do, then the price will continue higher because there's not a lot of selling pressure right now. Yes, this selling happened, but it wasn't really a tremendous amount of volume. You see, the most amount of volume is occurring on the upswing, not the downswing. So that tells me that we should experience a continuation. Once again, excuse me, as long as the actual volume continues to maintain itself. So if we see the same amount of volume today and or yesterday, tomorrow, moving forward, etc., then we'll see the price continue higher. So is $20 realistic? Let's talk about it. Yeah, it definitely is. I think Near is realistically going to break its all-time high. I just think it's a matter of time because, in other words, the price, in order for us to get to that point, we wanted to have a little bit more sideways action. So another 2 or 3 days consolidation at $16 would be perfect. We don't always get what we want, and for it to continue higher, we need more volume. So if the volume dissipates, we could see the price go sideways and or retrace back down to the next support at about 14. Better case scenario, the price continues higher and works itself up into each one of these Fibonacci retracement levels, right around 17 and just say 1820, and then comes up to essentially hit our profit target as a community, but more importantly, break its all-time high. So there's very much a strong likelihood of this happening, and when you look at the amount of growth it's had in just say the last 3 trading days, we've seen from bottom to top about a 40% increase. If we see that from the current price action, we'll break our all-time high. Another 30% higher from here at about $20.85, or just say $21 as a rough estimate. That would essentially put us in a position to be in price discovery and to see the price continue on a very similar track as Luna, if you will, right? Because Luna has done very well for itself, but once it hit its all-time high, it came back down to test it, and of course, it worked as a support level and has continued up ever since. Same scenario here for NEAR. It has a strong potential of doing so. So I personally feel that NEAR will break its all-time high. It could happen literally in the next 3 or 4 days. But do we want it to happen in the next 3 or 4 days? Probably not, because we're hitting a 6 on TD sequential. If we try to test our all-time high and we're at a 9 on TDS, we're going to have a strong potential for a pullback, and it may be a stronger pullback than we want. So again, sideways consolidation, we get, just say the price goes stagnant for a couple of days, that would be great, because what it would do is it build that foundation of volume, give us that likely pendant type of pattern that we see break out all the time, and then we're going to be able to hit that hard. So again, pay attention to the volume and of course, how it responds to the support level here today. If we get a close above, just say $16, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape here today. And keep in mind, the trading day is very young still, and we have a lot more volume to go. So we got a decent amount of volume already, specifically for a weekend. I'm excited to see what this week tells us. It's going to be a cool week. So all in all, NEAR is looking very good. I hope that you learned something here today. Sorry for rambling about all the extra stuff, but generally speaking, I like to make sure that you understand every angle of being a trader, because again, it's not just looking at the charts and figuring it out. It's extracting information from each time frame, and also having a really positive mental attitude too. Those are things I talk a lot about in my trading academy. You got to make sure that you have a good mind, a good body as well, and to essentially never trade when you're upset. That's kind of something I don't think anyone talks about. Anyways, just some random advice there. I hope that you all learned and have grown a little bit today. If you want to grow more as a trader, CryptoCache.tech is the website. Link in the description below. We'll look forward to getting to know you better. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.